Welcome to a special edition of the Referrals podcast. Introducing our new Daily Dose. We've assembled the ultimate crisis response team for your business. Generous leaders from around the globe teaming up to teach, guide, and lead you through this time of isolation and quarantine. Now let's meet your host, Michael J. Maher.
Hey everybody, this is Michael J. Maher with another episode of the Daily Dose of Positivity and Productivity. Have you ever wondered what it means to be a servant leader? Like, can you really serve and be a leader? I thought being a leader was just like telling people what to do. I thought, like, here's the other thing. Have you ever wanted to interview like all the cool, really successful people in the world? Like play Napoleon Hill for a day or a year or 10 years? Well, today you're going to learn all that and more. And I will tell you what, you are in for a real treat with my friend, Stacey Alcorn. Now, before I bring her on, I'm going to make her wait just a couple of minutes so I can do the announcements. Now, one big announcement. Today is May 1st. When we started the Daily Dose in March, we said we'll do it through April. Actually, we said we'll do it through April 24th. The first announcement that I would like to tell you is like, OMG, are you joking with me? Do you think we should keep going with the Daily Dose? In the comments below, just say yes if we should keep going. Or this could be the last one ever. Sadly, I'm sad right now thinking that it could be over. But it kind of makes me happy because Stacey Alcorn would be the last one, and it would be like we saved the best for last. Mm-hmm. All right, so if you think we need to do it more, look at this. Whoa, that's interesting. And kabang, look at that. We have an entire schedule for May, people. We have people on May like Barry Habib, Joe LaRosa, Renee Rodriguez, Roger Savvy, Don McNaughton, Michael Hellickson, Sean Callaghy, who also speaks with Tony Robbins. Ann Schutte has a Facebook group of 54,000 people that she runs. James Malinchak, Stacey and I know him. Tara Carter, Brandon Tracy, Gogo Bethke, one of the top Insta people in the world. I almost called her an Insta model, right? And then Steve Sims, who is the concierge for the superstars. Steve Sims is a great story. He literally, if a superstar, like you want anything in the world, he makes it happen. Literally. Chuck Faggio is going to be on, Corey Perlman. I may actually do one myself. And here's the second announcement. And this is a big announcement. We are doing Senior Day on May 22nd for all of your high school seniors. We will have a few high school seniors giving speeches. We will have some really cool surprises, but May 22nd, which is the Friday before Memorial Day, we are having Senior Day for the high school seniors, not college seniors, not other, but it is for high school seniors. It is the class of 2020 strong. And I cannot wait to bring that to you. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to partner with Adopt a Senior, which is a group where you can adopt a senior for support and helping them out. It doesn't have to be a financial helpful situation, but bottom line is we're going to kick butt with that. Now, we have a new 30 Mornings class starting on May 11th. That's a week from Monday. 30mornings.com. You got to get in. We're only doing that for $99. Where do you get daily coaching for $99? I've never even heard of that. 30mornings.com. Anyone want to come to a Cinco de Mayo party with me? I'm holding a Cinco de Mayo party next. Well, you're not going to believe this. It's on May 5th. Doesn't that kind of make sense for Cinco de Mayo? We're going to do it on May 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern. More details to come. We're going to do it through Zoom or one of these really cool methods. And we'll have a jam session. There will be alcohol involved. So if you're not friendly with that, then I'm sorry. Now, this is the time for you to start your watch party. So go down to share, click on start watch party, and then pick your group, or you can share this on your personal profile. because this next segment is going to blow you away. Now, Stacey Alcorn. I love Stacey Alcorn. Stacey is the founder and CEO of Lair Realty and All-American Title. She has been building businesses for more than 20 years, which means she started at 9.5 years old. In 2007, after reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Stacey set out on a mission to interview 500 of today's business leaders and world changers to find out how they achieved their big dreams in business and life. So far, she has completed more than 450 of those interviews and has written about each one in the Huffington Post and Entrepreneur Magazine. What she loves most about interviewing is building relationships with the interviewees, which is a strategy in itself, by the way, and taking the lessons learned in her interviews and applying them to Lair Realty Partners. She says that the success of Lair has everything to do with principles learned through hundreds of CEO interviews, combined with the open-mindedness and raw determination of her agent base. She didn't put it in here, but she's one of the top most influential people in real estate, according to the Swana poll, top 500. Stacey's goal is to build the #1 real estate brand in New England by 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you to one of my favorite people on this planet, one of the best people on the planet, one of the most true people on the planet, very highly influential person to me. And what she doesn't know is I had a bunch of other people who were on the Daily Dose who asked me, when is Stacey Alcorn's session? It's right now. It's today. Stacey Alcorn, welcome to the Daily Dose of Positivity and Productivity.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction. You made me want to cry.
Oh my God,
Very
really?
Sweet. Yes, that was sweet. Thank you.
I don't want to make you cry. That would not be good, right? Mm-hmm. Cry of joy, right?
Yes, now, happiness.
All right, I want to reward the people who tuned in early today. So look at this right here. Does this look familiar? That's your book.
It looks familiar to me.
What's funny is she's got all these accolades. She didn't put any of them. She didn't put any of them in her intro. It's like, come on, like best-selling author. Here's the thing. For all of you, I want you to know that for the first 12, if you will rate and review Referrals Podcast, it's very easy to do. Go to Google, type in Referrals Podcast, go to where it says Referrals Podcast on Apple, go open that up, hit subscribe, and then hit rate and review. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first 12 that you rate and review Referrals Podcast, and just so you know, we have a vested interest in this because there was somebody who gave us like not a bad review, but a review we kind of want to bury. So that's me being really honest. Somebody gave us a 4, and we want to make sure that that's not the first one people see. So if you will rate and review it, we will send you a book. No, literally, you are going to get this book. We have 12 of them to give away. And trust me, when you get done reading it, you will be inspired and motivated and ready to conquer the world like my friend Stacey Alcorn. So now, Stacey, I'm going to do a hot seat real quick on you. You didn't know this was coming. No. I love this. I love making my presenters really uncomfortable.
All right.
All right, ready? All right. So what's your birthday?
10/22/72.
Well, you didn't have to tell me the year, but thank you for that. All right. So October 22nd. So what's your hometown? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Westford, Massachusetts. And now I live in Littleton, Massachusetts, one town away.
Wow. And what high school did you go to?
Westford Academy. It sounds prestigious, but it's just a high school.
All right. You got to follow it with academy, right?
Yes.
All right. So most people would consider you one of these 4. I'm going to give you 4 and you can only pick one. They would consider you 1, straight to the point, 2, social and outgoing, 3, steady and dependable, or are you 4, cautious and perfectly accurate?
Steady and dependable.
All right. So your number 1 is steady and dependable. What would you say is your number 2? Straight to the point, social and outgoing, or cautious and perfectly accurate?
Social and outgoing.
All right. Now, spouse or significant other? Do you have a spouse or significant other named
James?
Yes,
spouse, Jay. Yep.
All right. And what's his birthday? I'm putting you on the spot.
October 16th.
Dang. Good job. What's your anniversary?
New Year's Eve, 12/31.
Nice. Way to get it on the yearly taxes. Nice work. All right. So what would you consider him? Is he straight to the point, social and outgoing, steady and dependable, or cautious and perfectly accurate?
Straight and to the point.
Okay. And what would be his number 2, do you think?
Social and outgoing.
All right. And children?
1 10-year-old.
Ocean. Oshyn, right?
Correct.
Is that right? What a great way to spell it. I love that. And it's Ocean. Like,
Ocean.
It's just like, that's the coolest name ever. What's her birthday?
12/11.
10?
12/11/09.
09. Boy, how cool would it have been in 12/11/10?
I know I should have waited 1 more year.
Yeah. Yeah. Any pets?
Yeah, a bunch of pets. 2 dogs. 2 cats.
All right. Way to even it out there. What's your favorite color?
Black.
Yeah. We're 3 for 3 on black this week. TV show. Favorite TV show?
I like The Office.
Okay. And if you were going to order an alcoholic beverage like on Cinco de Mayo, like what's the order? Maybe Cinco de Mayo is like loaded question, but
Yeah, I'd have to have a margarita, I guess.
yeah. What is your favorite though? If you were to go to just any day of the year?
I am a calorie counter, so probably like a light beer.
Okay. And what's your favorite dessert?
Cheesecake.
Okay. Do you have a favorite musical artist or band?
Nirvana.
Oh, nice. Nice. Favorite actor or actress?
I can't think of any.
What's your favorite sports team?
I don't watch sports.
Oh, come on. You're in Boston, the
I
city
know.
of champions.
Terrible.
All right.
I probably just lost some agents. They just
No, there are. You know what? Here, what's really cool? You didn't lose anybody. You said nobody. So like everybody loves you, right? Even the Cowboys fans, which we won't talk to right now. But here's the thing, right? So you'd get up early to do what? Like, what would you get up at 3 or 4 a.m. to go do?
read.
All right. So what's your favorite book?
Oh, that's a hard question because
No, it's
so
not.
many.
You're on the Daily Dose. It's really easy. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
The 7 levels of communication is my first.
Loaded.
Think and Grow Rich. How to Win Friends and Influence People. I
Yeah.
have a million of them.
Yeah. Yeah. You're a big time reader. And bucket list. So what's the next thing you want to do on your bucket list, or what's something on your bucket list that you hope to achieve in the next 3 or 4 years?
Interviewing. I have a bunch of interviews I haven't done that are on my bucket list. Warren Buffett,
Mm-hmm.
Bill Gates,
Oh,
Oprah
yeah.
would be cool. Got
Yeah.
a bunch I haven't done yet.
What a great way to turn the tables on Oprah. Interview her instead
Yeah.
of her interviewing somebody else. What's your favorite vacation? This is the last question. What's your favorite vacation spot of all time? Or where would you like to go?
I'm not like a vacation person. If I was going to go on a vacation, it would have to be like coming out to a Gen event somewhere would be
Oh,
a vacation
geez.
for
You are
me.
so good. You're so good. We're going to make that happen for sure.
Yep.
All right. And just for the record, everybody knows what we're doing here. We do the Daily 5, which is we pick 5 people. We call them or Zoom them. We do a VIP form with them. And then we follow up with a handwritten note, which I have ready, right? Look at that. You will be receiving this in a few days. I don't know why the video is kind of acting like that, but so I'm going to be writing you a handwritten note. You'll be getting that soon. And then I'm going to invite you to our Generosity Generation Facebook group, which you've already accepted. So I have done my daily 1 out of my daily 5. So that's all we have to do on a daily basis during the quarantine. And I will tell you, Stacey, we got people that are right at 150 of those during this time. So
That's awesome.
it's very cool. So, all right, let's jump right into like, wow, quarantine hit us all kind of in the face. So what is your mindset now in the middle of this pandemic as compared to during a regular market?
My mindset, in general, I believe that we have to be super in control of what is going on in our heads. I believe that what we think about, we bring about.
Oh, yeah.
And so my mindset, if anything, is I have to be more resolute than ever right now, making sure that my mindset does not move towards a dark place, which is a little more difficult in this type of market because it's easy for your mindset to go to a dark place because it's everywhere on social media, it's on TV, it's people coming to you. So I'd say my mindset's great. I feel like there's massive opportunity now, and I'm harnessing massive opportunity in my market, but it's just takes a little more work than usual to make sure I keep my mindset where it needs to be.
So do you ever suffer doubt or fear or anything like that?
I definitely do, but I shut it out pretty quickly. So when I feel the feelings that I know are not good, I just know. I know from like years of just doing all the stuff that I do that my mind attracts. So I know that if I feel fear, I'm bringing something bad into my life. I've just opened the door for something negative to happen in my business or life.
Yeah, wow. And that's so I think that's important, is that leaders aren't perfect. And the other thing too is so many of these leaders that I'm seeing out there are little prissy perfects. You know, everything's perfect. There's no problem. There's nothing going on. There's everything perfect. And I think one of the things I just really am drawn to you about is that, you know, you're transparent. You're not perfect, you know, which makes you more perfect. Isn't that interesting? But it's one of those where it's like, you know, you've shared your doubts, you've shared your fears, and it's just so funny. I have a doubt, boom, it's out, right? I've got a fear, boom, never fear. You know what I mean? So it's one of those where I just love how you handle that and react to that. And, you know, the thing is all right, so we kind of have to handle our own mindset, but you also have 500 plus agents who are looking to you for leadership. How do you help agents like control their own mindset?
I mean, I feel like that's my purpose in the world, is helping other people realize the importance of mindset. And so like from the beginning, as soon as the pandemics in our market started and the world got shut down, I knew immediately I had to figure out a way to keep my agents focused on something other than the pandemic. At the end of the day, I know it's terrible what's happening and people are dying.
Yeah.
That's not where we can let our mind focus right now. So we started, like I did basically what you're doing, like a Facebook group where I've now done 100 plus classes in 8 weeks for agents at my company and outside companies, so that, because I do believe there's massive opportunity right now. When in our business do we ever get the opportunity to like sit and focus working on our business for 8 weeks? That never happens. So from the beginning, I wanted my agents to see this is such a huge opportunity. Some people are going to come out of this and not be able to sell a lot of real estate. But I also think that like some champions are being made right now. And it's my job to go out and help kind of sculpt those champions.
100%. And it starts with the mind of a champion and the mindset of a champion. We talk about the breakfast of a champion. You know, it's really the mindset of a champion that builds the champion. And, you know, the joy of talking to you is I'm really talking to you plus 450 really successful people. And you've kind of been on this, you've been on this Napoleon Hill journey of interviewing the most successful people and cool people in the world. You know, how could agents use, you know what, before we even get to the strategy of interviewing, like what's the coolest interview that you've ever done?
Michael Maher.
Oh, geez. Really? Tell me about that
like
one.
You are Dale Carnegie reincarnated, right?
Wow.
I mean, so it's right up there. You're one of the best because, I mean, you practice what you preach too. And we live in a world where there's a lot of people out there that are on a pedestal. They're authors, writers, speakers, and they don't necessarily practice what they preach. So that's one of the reasons yours is one of my favorite interviews.
Well, I appreciate that. And that's super high praise. Modern day Dale Carnegie, I think is what you called me. And that's a lofty title. I'd like to be the modern day Michael Maher and see what happens with that. But in second place, if I'm the modern day Dale Carnegie, I guess I'll go with that. But who's somebody else that you've interviewed that it was just like a really, like, you didn't know if you could end up you mentioned earlier, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Oprah, who's somebody that you're like, man, it's going to take a miracle for me to get in front of that person, and it happened.
So that's one of the reasons why I know how powerful my mind is. But I have put out, that's why I know I'll interview Oprah and Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, because I put it into my mind. I let the universe figure out how it's going to come to me. But I have countless success stories of where I've put it out into the world. One off the top of my head is Richard Branson, that I wanted to meet and interview Richard Branson. So I put it on my vision board. I knew it was going to happen, because that's one, I always say, if you want to manifest something, you really have to eliminate doubt. Like you shouldn't say, how is it going to happen? Because I have zero connection to Richard Branson. So I put it out to the universe. I put it on a vision board, and within a few months, I got introduced to a friend, and I was interviewing her about her business. And during that interview, I found out that she does a lot of work for Richard Branson. And I said, oh, well, by the way, I'd love to interview him sometime. And she said, oh, really? Do you want to come to his end of the world party on Necker Island in 2 weeks? And I'm like, yeah, of course I do. So you don't have to worry about the how. Just put it out to whatever you believe in, and it'll come to you.
Yeah, that's powerful. And going from not knowing to interviewing, in a matter of months. And you mentioned a vision board, and I will tell you that we have certified mornings coaches that teach our 30 mornings classes. One of those is Jen Scarpero. She is actually hosting a vision board class. If people want to be involved with that, then please, below in the comments, just put vision board, and we will reach out to you to make sure that you are informed about a vision board class. And you can do that either electronically, digitally, or you can do a true paper vision board. So Jen is phenomenal at teaching that. And I'm a believer in vision boards. I've been a believer in them since The Secret came out, and I heard Osirof's just crazy story. And I've seen it with, like, when I got my Porsche Boxster, I saw it happen. I literally, there's no way I was going to be able to pay cash for this car. By the end of the year, my third year in real estate, I paid cash and didn't even blink an eye. And it's just one of those where it's like the vision board really, really made that happen. So I love that. And what'd you learn from Richard Branson?
Wait, I have to tell you my vision board story.
Okay.
So this is one of my favorite stories. Many of my own agents have heard it many times, but after I had seen The Secret, that's when I started practicing vision boarding. So many of the interviews I did, and for anybody that hasn't seen The Secret or read The Secret, John Assaraf is the one that has a whole segment in The Secret about vision boards. So after I saw that, I realized that I could put whatever I wanted on a vision board, and a great deal of what I put on there would come about. So I use that for the interviews that I want to get. So I say, these are the people who are going to be my friends, and I'm going to meet them and interview them. So I don't know if obviously you remember us going, but I don't know if it was 4 years ago. No, it's been 7 years. 7 years ago, all of a sudden one day. So after I saw The Secret with John Assaraf, I put John Assaraf on my vision board. I'm like, oh, I need to meet this guy. I want to get to know him and see who he is as a human. So John Assaraf, the guy that shared the idea of the vision board, I put him on my vision board. Then one day I get a call out of the blue from Michael Maher. He's like,
that's me, by the way. That's me, in case you're new to this. So,
and he basically said, hey, what are you doing on this date? I'm like, nothing. What do you got? And he's like, oh, I'm going to a house party at this guy, John Assaraf's house. Have you ever heard of him? And I'm like, did you know? I'm like, did I tell you that he's on my vision board? And you're like, no, you didn't tell me anything. And I'm like, this is so surreal. And by the way, we went on that trip. I still look at pictures of that and I'm like, here I am in the house that he attracted using his vision board. He took us down to his gym and showed us that original vision board with the picture of the house out of like Architectural Digest that he attracted using the vision board. But I'm like, wow, like that was a milestone and a turning point in my life. Because I was like, wow. Because when you start doing a vision board, one or two things, you're going to attract it. But it's easy as a human being to say like, oh, there's a million reasons how that could have happened. It's just coincidence.
Yeah.
But like, you can't coincidence the fact that I'm in John Asseroff's house, talking to him, checking out his vision board. I'm like, that's not possible. The only way that's possible is it came about because of the vision board. So that was like a big milestone in my career and my life. So thank you.
Wow. Well, thank you. I appreciate, I'm glad you could make it. That was a memorable dinner party. It's literally something that I go back to quite often. And, it wouldn't have happened without the vision board. I really, really believe that, even though I didn't know interviewing him was on your vision board, but, I was so appreciative that he had told that story. And all the rewards and all the amazing things that I've accomplished. I think one of the best things about a vision board is that it keeps you in alignment with the world and the universe and God, however you want to say that. And it just keeps it front and center on your focus. I talked earlier about like literally what's the power during these quarantine times. The ones who are becoming the champions are the ones who are staying focused. And I use the acronym for focus is finish one challenge until success. And it's one of those where it's like, that's the secret, is take one thing and just like finish it, like take it to the nth degree, like just eat on it, gnaw on it, and then just finish it. Finish one challenge until success. And that's the power of the vision board. I really believe that is you're not going to give up until you've got Ozerov interviewed. You're not going to give up until you've got Branson interviewed. You're not, because it's up there, it's on the board, and it's amazing. I truly believe that there is no better time to do a vision board than right now, because everybody's priorities have been reordered and reprioritized, if that's a bad way to use that word in the same word. But it's like, now is a really good time to figure out what that vision board looks like.
I do want to point out too, because we have a lot of real estate professionals that are on the program today, that sometimes like I want them to equate these interviews, because I teach it to my real estate agents, that you don't necessarily have to go out. Like the most interesting people in the world are sometimes the person that's standing next to you when you're at Subway getting a sub. So you don't have to put it out there that you want to meet Richard Branson. I tell real estate agents that if you want to be the #1 real estate agent in your marketplace in the next 2 years, I can show you how to do it by you doing 2 interviews a month in your marketplace. Reach out to the guy that owns the pizza shop, the school principal, the local business owner. Now is like the perfect time, because everybody's struggling. Every business is struggling. This is an opportunity to reach out and say, hey, I'd love to interview you and just write a little article on my blog about your business. Nobody says no to that, by the way.
Everybody says yes. And I hate to even disclose this, but like, this is the secret to success. Like, this is Michael Maher's secret to success. This is how I grew a really powerful army of ambassadors very quickly in Kansas City, is I didn't have a clue about having a business, sales, marketing. I didn't have a clue about any of that. People are like, well, you have an MBA in marketing and communication. Yeah, that came later. I already had an MBA before I got my MBA. And I got that MBA from interviewing. I just went at it in a way where who can I get help from? Who can I get mentorship from? I would meet with them. I was not asking for referrals. I was not, in fact, real estate might not have come up at all, but I was just like asking them, like, I want to be successful. What should I do? And I think that might have even been the first questions I asked. as time went on, the questions started to get honed and that kind of thing. But I was such a great student that they were willing to be great teachers. And then they referred me, connected me, introduced me to other great teachers. And before I knew it, you know, I had 50 to 100 people, most influential people in Kansas City, who I had talked to and saw me as this really good student who they wanted to help, you know, and my business grew exponentially. So this is how I started, is just simply, and now I was interviewing successful people, business people, to become more successful in business, but using it as a strategy for anything is really powerful. Using it in our Facebook groups is really powerful. We should interview the business owner or the restaurant owner and then post it in the group. And Toro White is a great example of this. She does that 2 or 3 times a month. She also interviews her team members. I have to tell you, I love that. You know, she interviews like Lisa, and they did an interview. So all of her community got to know her team a little bit better. So, you know, it's all interview. All of this, the interview is maybe one of the most powerful strategies anybody can do, you know?
Are you enjoying the Daily Dose? Want to connect with thousands of other business owners that are winning the referral game while working from home right now? Head over to the Generosity Generation Facebook group. Connect with leaders, visionaries, and business owners from all over the world. Go to www.joingengen.com. That's www.joingengen.com.
What makes a good interview, do you think, Stacey? Like, what are some good questions, or, you know, what makes a good interview from the interviewer's standpoint, not the interviewee, you know?
So, I mean, for a question that I always go to, so I talked at the very beginning today about the power of mindset. And the reason why I see mindset as being so important to me is because I've been like through some terrible things in business and life over the last 10 or 20 years. When I look back on it, all those terrible things that happened turned out to be sometimes the best things that ever happened. And when you're in the middle of it and you feel like just like folding and you're done, I can't do it again. What I want you to know is that when you look back on that time, 5 years from now, you're going to say, holy cow, that was like the day everything changed for me. That was the gift. So that's why I know now when bad things happen to me, I recognize very quickly there's a gift here. So one of the main questions I always try to get to people is I'll always say, like, what's the hardest day that you've ever had in your life?
Wow.
And oftentimes, because then I want to find out what did that lead to. Oftentimes you will see it led to something beautiful or great, or a door opening that, because when a door closes, all we can focus on is the door just closed, the door just closed, the door just closed, instead of saying, wait a second, something else just opened up over here. So
that's a drop the mic type of question. I mean, what's funny is you were saying it, I thought about it. And the worst day of my life, or the hardest day of my life, was in January of like 1998, 1999. That entire Christmas break, I spent 2 weeks putting together a playbook, and I was applying for the head coach of a high school football team, which, like, it was my dream job. New school, I could establish a new character, new culture, you know, everything from top to bottom. It was like the dream job. And I had already coached at the school before, so I had a lot of fans and a lot of people who were really supporting me. Well, it ended up somebody at my current school, or the school I was at, sabotaged the deal. It was crushing. And I will tell you, my whole passion for that whole environment went out the door. And I will tell you, that summer, instead of working on school and sports stuff, I got my real estate license.
that's awesome.
And, you know, that year went pretty well. And then I stayed for one more year. And by that time, you know, I did 87 transactions my second year. So I went 37, 87, 187.
Wow.
And it was one of those where if that had never happened, I wouldn't be right here right now. And I have to tell you, the greatest thing about getting into real estate and getting into business that I am now is the people I've met. I would have never met the people that I know now if I was still coaching in these small towns in Kansas. I might have been a big dog in a really small town and that kind of thing. But I will tell you that there's nothing like knowing you're a small dog in a really big world of really awesome people. And it's helped me grow as a human being. I'm a better human being because of that bad day, you know? And all right, so I've got to ask you, like, what's the worst day of your life?
I had a business partner roughly 3 years ago. So a business partner.
This is current, like this is recent.
Oh yeah. This is like a business partner. Basically 3 years ago, I realized one day that he took, basically almost put us out of business, stole a ton of money. And in fact, you were one of the first people I called because I'm like, I need somebody to like tell me that this is what's happening to me right now is a good thing. Because at the end of the day, like I will say, I remember being crumpled in a ball crying. And I'm like, this guy just put us out of business. This guy just put us out of business. He didn't even care. He'd been a friend and a business partner for many years.
Jeez.
And what I can tell you right now, 3 years later, 100% one of the best things that happened because I no longer have that partner tied to me. So
right.
Was it expensive and was it difficult? And was I have so much fear that I wasn't going to be able to dig out of it? All of that is absolutely yes. But I surround myself because I'll say that about mindset too, is you absolutely have to surround yourself with people who recognize and understand that whole thing. So I can call Michael Maher and say, dude, somebody just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to wake up tomorrow. And you need those people around you to say, you know what? This is the best thing that ever happened to you. Because that's how you kind of sludge through all the terribleness of it. And then it gets a little easier, and then it gets a little easier, and then it gets easier. And then it gets so easy that coronavirus hits. And then all of a sudden you're like, you got to be kidding me. I just dug out of that hole. But now I look at it and say, all right, coronavirus shut down real estate across Massachusetts. It didn't shut it down. It made it much slower than it normally would have been.
That's right.
But what I know from what I went through with that business partner is something awesome is going to come out of what we're going through right now.
It's living in appreciation, right? So
Yes.
I help people, I'm a big supporter of building your business on love, generosity, and appreciation. Love is at the heart of it. Do you still love what you do? That was one of my first questions. Do you still love what you do? Yes. Okay. So it's okay. You still love what you do. And then you've got generosity, which is love in action. That's what we're going to do on a daily basis. We're going to give massive value first. We're going to continue to give massive value first. And then the other part of this that many people are really, they kind of come to secondarily when it comes to the generosity generation is also building your life on appreciation. And appreciation is love in reaction. So life is going to happen to you. Now, we do a good job of appreciating the good things that happen to us. We need to also appreciate the bad things, the hard things, the things that happen to us like a coronavirus. We have to appreciate this. Like I went from doubt to appreciation in minutes when it came to this, because it's like, you know what? I can help. Like it was just like I said, I said on the first one, CR 101, I got a little emotional. It was like, I was freaking born for this moment. I was born to help my people get through this. And we have people that are getting more referrals than they've ever gotten before, Stacey, because they've been forced to get on the phone or get in a Zoom. They have a script with the VIP form and it shows you care, you know, and it only takes 5 to 7 minutes. And then the follow-up handwritten note tends to cement the relationship. But we have people that got like sick. I mean, Tara Carter's kicking butt. You know, she's got such a huge pipeline. She doesn't know what she's going to do when the coronavirus is over, because all these people are saying, yeah, you know what? We want to do something, but we just don't want to do it right now because of uncertainty and the things that are going on. And she's like, that's great. I'll put you on the list. And it's just like her 30-day list is kind of like this. Her 60-day, like her 90-day list is like 2.5 columns. Why? She's making the calls. Angela Gibbons making the calls. So it's one of those where I just live in appreciation. Is every day hunky-dory and rosy and all that? No. But it, you know, does it take me sometimes a little bit longer than other to go from like the negativity or the hit to appreciation? Yeah. But overall, if you just live in generosity and live in appreciation, it's like, I'm going to give massive value first. Things are going to happen to me. I know I'm doing the right thing. I know I'm doing good things. And you just live in this appreciation, which is, you know, love and reaction. I love it. I love the coronavirus. I love it. I don't love that people are dying. I don't love these, but the thing is I love that it's made us reconnect with our family. It's made us work on our business instead of just working in the business. It's made us pause and reflect on the good things in life. So, you know, I appreciate it. I do. And I appreciate the fact that would Stacey Alcorn and Michael Maher having this 45-minute conversation on, you know, whatever day it is, if it wasn't for this, probably not, maybe not, you know? So I think this is a good opportunity for people to share in the comments the pleasantly surprised. Stacey, every day we do a pleasantly surprised. We put PS in the comments, pleasantly surprised, PS. And then what have people been pleasantly surprised by? And so what's something you've been pleasantly surprised by when it comes to the quarantine times?
Are we waiting for them to answer, or are you waiting for
No,
me?
I'd like you to answer.
Oh, I'm answering it?
Yeah,
I was waiting to see
if
what
you don't
everybody
mind.
else was doing.
Yeah,
All right.
and I know that this was
Oh,
not
I
a
have
question.
a million things. I have a million things I'm pleasantly surprised by. I would say I'm pleasantly surprised that I am really engaged in what my 10-year-old daughter is learning at school, where normally it's like very brief conversations about like what's going on. Now I get to see what is being taught in her classes every day. I'm pleasantly surprised that the smog over LA has disappeared very quickly and good things are happening in the environment. Pleasantly surprised that, like, I mean, normally I spend most of my time driving. I drive thousands of miles a week because I recruit agents. So I go from Starbucks to Starbucks to Starbucks to Starbucks all day, every day. I've been doing it just sitting at my desk. I'm like, this is like way better than what I was used to before, less stressful, still connecting with people. I'm pleasantly surprised by like all the online training. I get to see like even this, I mean, people don't, I think sometimes it gets lost on people, like watching the guests that you have. Like this is, I remember several years ago, I paid, I don't know, $10,000 to be in Darren Hardy's high performance forum so I could get to hear from cool people. Guess what? You have all the people on the Daily Dose. It's free. You can just show up and learn from all these awesome people. That's a pleasant surprise. I think there's so many gifts that have come out of the last 8 weeks. And I think that some of those gifts are going to stick with us for maybe forever.
Powerful. So everybody else is doing pleasantly surprises in the thing. I mean, it's like one of the things I've been really pleasantly surprised about was a couple of years ago, I started buying my supplies for the year, Stacey. So in November, December, I'd kind of analyze like what we used. And then in January, I'd buy it for the whole year. So, you know, things like toilet paper, Stacey, and paper. Now this is January, right? And deodorant. I wear deodorant, just so you know. Like all of these, everything that you just consume, that is something you can keep. And I will tell you, it annoys Sherry a little bit. I just want you to know, a little bit. Only from the fact that, all right, we've got all these extras of stuff in the closets and everything else. Now she loves it, right? because now we could sell it for millions of dollars. No, I'm kidding. But the thing is, like, I mean, it's like, I know it's cool. Like, I don't have to worry about the deodorant, the aftershave, the shaving cream, the soap, the shampoo, all that stuff is bought for the year. So like we're fine, we're fine. And it's just, and that's just a strategy that people are talking about. Like, what are the strategies you're going to take from the quarantine that you want to implement forever? Like an expense review every month, but I'm going to tell you, every December and January, it's going to be buy for the year for all of our goods, all the things that we can, it's just, you don't have to run to the store. You don't have to forget things. You don't have to worry about things. And, the one thing we have is, like there's certain medications that you can only get them 30 days at a time, but other than that, we've got it. So anyway, all right. You are structured. And I said in the beginning, CR 101, I did, all right, mess or success. What does success look like in the quarantine times? And I used an acronym for success. The first S was structure, because the enemy of chaos is structure. You're a structured person. Mm-hmm. So like, what are the daily habits that you are doing that are keeping you successful or keeping you in growth mode during the quarantine times?
Always, whether it's quarantine or not, I time block 1 hour a day for reading. Reading keeps me, that's like my meditation for me. I have to read for 1 hour a day, and it's all different types of subjects. I work out for half hour, 45 minutes every single day. I attend training. I mean, right now I'm hosting a lot of the training, but it's super, like, I have to do it. It's an addiction because it keeps my mindset, and I'm learning all this awesome stuff that I can continue to improve my own business. So I'd say like training, reading, exercise. Those are the 3 musts for me every day.
Here's what I love about that is that people talk about time blocking. They talk about time blocking every hour all through the day. And that's not the secret to success, people. It's take just 1 hour and make sure it's a high profile, high energy, highly productive thing. And that's why we said with the daily dose, like we could have done it any time of the day, but we did it at 1 p.m. Why? We want to make the centerpiece of everybody's day, the masterpiece of everybody's day. And what we mean by that is, all right, the daily dose is in the middle. Block off the hour after the daily dose to implement, to take your notes, to overview, but implement. I really want people to instantly implement after this is over. Then it's like, okay, so you're instantly implementing afterwards. Well, what are you going to block off the 1 hour before? While you're eating lunch or while you're eating breakfast on the West Coast, what is that 1 hour before? So if you just block off those 3 hours on a daily basis, you win. Maybe it's exercise the hour before, it's the daily dose, and then it's instant implementation. If that's your only thing that you're doing on a daily basis, and the rest of it is kind of like, fly by night and a little bit of variety and family, that kind of thing, then you know what? You're going to win. You can win with 2 or 3 really good daily habits. Would you agree with that, Stacey?
100%.
Yeah. I've just seen where people are they're zoomed out. They're taking a Zoom at 9, they're taking a Zoom at 10, they're taking a Zoom at 11. And it's just like by 1 o'clock, they're Zoom fatigued, right. Zoomed out. And that's why we did 1 a day. I didn't necessarily want to, there's a lot of summits going on, and it's just like, man, 8 of those in a row is just like, wow, that's a lot. But I like what you did. You did several interviews, but you've created a library. Like, this is good for people to, utilize later on, to tap into anytime they need it. So I love how you did that. Now, you say that you are the ultimate prescriber of books. Can you explain what that means?
Yeah, so because I have for, I don't know, 20 years I read 1 hour a day. That means I get through a ton of books.
Yeah.
And so anytime an agent or anybody has any type of problem or issue or any life challenge, I can prescribe to them the book that is going to help them the most. So I just have like some of them, like I buy 7 Levels of Communication because I know that for a lot of agents, I prescribe that book all the time. But there's all different, if somebody needs help with, for example, habits, I might prescribe Atomic Habits. But I think for me personally, I think it might have been Dale Carnegie who said it, but you are, your life is basically a byproduct of who you spend the most time with and the books you read. So I do think one good book can change your life. So I prescribe books constantly.
So let's try that. So let's try it right now. So in the comments below, members of the Generosity Generation, and if you're newer, welcome to the Generosity Generation. So what is your biggest challenge right now? So in the comments, I want you to say, like, what is your biggest challenge right now? And I want people to put their challenge, and Sherry will relay to me the challenge, and then Stacey and maybe myself will prescribe books for you to conquer that challenge. So
there's a delay, so it's going on.
Yeah.
I have some go-tos, like definitely thinking, I'd say definitely Think and Grow Rich.
Yep.
About around mindset. It's also good if you're thinking about interviewing, like he was the ultimate interviewer. How to Win Friends and Influence People. I got invited to a school for kids to talk about mindset and manifestation. And they were mad at me because I said, how to win friends and influence people is more important than a college education.
Wow.
I feel that in my heart. Like if you know the skills and what he talks about there, it is more important than anything else you could possibly learn.
Totally agree. Diplomacy, how to treat others, all of that. So Sherry, do we have a couple of what's your biggest challenge, or you know, what do people want to learn more about, right? So
I like this, fear of picking up the phone.
Yeah.
I have one for that. Go for no.
Go for no. Go for no is the prescription. And a really quick statement from 7L on that is that call reluctance is a form of selfishness. Ouch. Yeah, I just said that. Call reluctance is a form of selfishness. The reason you're not calling is because all these thoughts you have. But if you call in the spirit of generosity, you'll pick up the phone. Just call them to ask the VIP forms. Hey, I know these are kind of crazy questions, but I'd like to know more about you, and just go. All right, what else we got? Confidence in real estate to do my first deal without knowing anything or everything.
I would say there's an awesome book I just read. It's called Uncertain. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah.
It's called Uncertainty by Jonathan Fields. And it's about turning fear and doubt into fuel for brilliance. And it's basically all around, like, all the greatness in you is based on if you can get through your fear and the uncertainty that's going around in the world right now. If you can break through that, the world is your oyster. So that'll help a lot of people, regardless of what problems you're facing right now.
I love that. The book's called Uncertainty. And just a quick suggestion on that too, from like reality is write 10 contracts, write 10 fake contracts and go over them with your broker. You know, that will, one of the biggest fears you have is you just don't know what's next. If you know what's next, it's amazing how easy it is to find the person to write a contract with. So so write 10 contracts, negotiate them out with an accountability partner or a broker, and tell them, don't be easy on me. Make this tough negotiations, make this, you know, try to make it as real as possible. You know, you might end up selling your house 10 times, right?
Right.
Your own house. So how do I get more organized? I want to be more organized. What's a book that can help me with getting organized?
I read one. I can't remember. Well, first of all, this one's interesting. There's a book about being untidy by Marie. What is it? The funny thing about that particular book is my mother bought me that book 2 Christmases in a row. I'm like, seriously, Mom.
She was like, you're not getting the hint, Alcorn.
That's what I said. I'm like, do you know you got me this same book last year? I forget, it's Marie. She has a show too, but it's an awesome book about how to organize everything. Marie Kondo's book.
Is it The Science of Untidiness or the
Yeah, something like.
Yeah.
Pulling it up. Marie Kondo. It's an awesome book. I finally, after my mother got it for me the second time, I got the hint, and it did help me reorganize my business and my life. Tidying Up with Marie Kondo is her TV show.
Tidying Up? Yep.
But she also has some books. The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up.
The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. That's a winner right there. I've never read that book. The others I have read. All right, how do I make sure that I implement important things like prioritization and that kind of thing? Staying focused.
I have that book. I have an awesome book. It's Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
Habit stacking.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a fan of. That's where the networking stack came from.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the habit stacking is very powerful, and Atomic Habits is it's a good read no matter what. I think everybody should read that book. Like, I just want to be cool. What book should I read to just be cool?
Just to be cool. 7 Levels. Reach.
Reach is a cool book. All right. So she wrote this book. It is a bestseller. And what's funny is I need to thank my self-publisher, which is the name of Author House.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize that's how we were originally connected?
It's so crazy. But
crazy?
There's something else in the world that brought us together. And I mean, he was, because neither of us work with that same publisher, but that's how we met. That's why we were supposed to go through that publisher.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? It's just like it's such a small world, and that's how it works, right? And the other thing too is we're both really good at building long-term relationships. You know, I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of other people, a lot of other authors that met through Author House or whatever it may be, but people typically are not great at keeping the relationships forever, you know?
Right.
And it's just one of those where I believe that's the key of life. That doesn't mean you need to have, 5,000 best friends, but it just means that you need to be able to stay in communication with the people that you want to stay in communication with, which also leads to the Facebook group. That's just a great communication method. What is a relationship? It's a value exchange through constant and consistent communication,
100%.
So it's just like, it's so powerful. By the way, you can get this book. I believe we have a couple of spots left. All you have to do is rate and review Referrals Podcast at iTunes. And I will tell you that I think we just have a couple of spots left. The way to do it is you go to iTunes, rate and review Referrals Podcast so we can get rid of that 4-star that we had recently. And then we will post your picture of your review in the Generosity Generation group. And then we will private message you, get your address, and send this to you. So you're going to go to iTunes, rate and review Referrals Podcast. Please give us a 5. If you don't feel like it's a 5, let me know. And then you will post the review, a picture of it, in the Generosity Generation group, and we'll PM you and get you this book. I know that sounds like 4 steps. It's really only 3. I probably butchered that. But so I'll tell you. And so, Stacey, final words of wisdom for us as we're going through. We're kind of, I don't know if this is halftime. A lot of people really feel like this is they hope it's the 4th quarter. It's really not the 4th quarter of the quarantine. We're really kind of halftime, I think. Words of wisdom for us as we as we kind of, spill forward, work forward, grow forward, reach forward for the next half. What do you think? What should we do? What are some words of wisdom?
I think it's, what I would do, I recently reread your book because it had been a long time since I read it. And I would urge everybody to reread 7 Levels because I think it just gives you a blueprint of everything you need to do to dig in and build great relationships with the people who already know, love, and trust you. By the way, you need to do it now because every real estate agent has been on hiatus. And if you're not reaching out to the people who already know, like, and trust you, I can almost guarantee somebody else is. So
that's so true, right? The worst time to call is right after your competitor just called your best friend.
Yes.
Right. That's the worst time to call is when they say, oh yeah, Jimmy just called from your office. I was just talking to him. What a great guy. Thanks for calling. See ya. Right. The best time to call is to be the first one to call and just check on people and just see. And you got to get over everybody's got to get over the call reluctance thing. If you've got it, just pick up the phone, just say, hey, listen, I was thinking of you during these quarantine times. And how are things going? How are you doing? Everybody healthy?
Invite them here. Invite them to the Daily Dose. Like, simple as that, an invitation.
I love it. And that's why I love you, and you're awesome. And Stacey Alcorn, I just from the entire generosity generation and from me and my staff, my team at Referco, I just want to say thank you so much for being our guest here today on the Daily Dose.
Thank you so much for having me. Always awesome. Just hearing your voice and sharing great ideas. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was the Daily Dose of positivity and productivity for sure. Your job next is to do your instant implementation. Let us know if you need help with that. Just post in the Generosity Generation that you need some help, and we have tons of people who are looking forward to helping you with that. The other thing too is we made a couple of big announcements on this. We are going to do the Daily Dose through the end of May, which is a huge ordeal. That's a big deal. And then the second thing is May 22nd is going to be Senior Day for high school seniors. So we will make sure that you get more information on that. You'll hear from 3 or 4 seniors, and we're going to make that a really special day for high school seniors. That's May 22nd. And then I was just informed that we're going to have a vision board class. Thank you, Stacey Alcorn, for getting our people off their butts and suggesting that again so that we can get that scheduled. Jen Scarpero and Sherry Maher will be teaching that Friday, May 8th, 6 p.m. Eastern, which means that there will probably be wine involved. That would be my guess. It'll be wine and vision boards on May 8th. So bottom line, you also have to do your daily 5 today. 5 people you identify who are high energy, high positivity. You're going to call them or Zoom them. You're going to interview them with the VIP form. You're going to write them a handwritten note. Look at this, Stacey Alcorn. You will be getting, I know it's so weird to see a note that you're going to get before you actually get it, but there you go. And then afterward, you're going to invite them to your Facebook group, and you're going to grow your Facebook group by 5 a day. That's it. Just 5 a day. 5. That's it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, Stacey Alcorn, I love you. You rule. You're one of the best people on the planet. I'm a huge fan. Thank you so much.
Likewise. Thank you to you and Sherry too. I love Sherry.
Yeah.
Equally. Thank you, Sherry.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, go to the Daily Dose Positivity Productivity on Referrals podcast. If you're listening to this right now, please do us a favor, subscribe, rate, and review. And this has been brought to you by the Generosity Generation and Referco. Have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday on the Daily Dose. Thanks, everybody.